This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, July 5th, 2016, episode 77. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. At Nicholas M. Craig is my Twitter. Infectionpodcast.com is the website. I want to thank everybody for joining us for Infection. Joining me with a curly mustache, Brian Aldridge.
Yes. Hey, yeah, it's finally gotten to the point where it's starting to curl up, and all I like to do is kind of twist a little bit.
You're like a chimney sweep.
Yeah, and so we'll see. I just can't imagine what, I don't know, at some point am I going to have to trim this before, because I'm like planning to grow it till November.
We're talking to the, ooh.
And if we're here now, like it's going to be.
You should dye it
I'm going to have to start.
Dye it a different color.
Put the wires in it so that it doesn't like droop.
Is that a real thing?
I don't know. Like they wax it and everything, but I'm assuming that for those contests, they must have some sort of.
You should dye it a different color so we could see like jet black so that we can see the difference.
I am looking at getting some wax for it because it's getting to the point to where it's getting unruly.
You know what you need? You need some Just for Men. Jet black Just for Men for your beard so that it's really prominent.
So just the mustache
yes,
part?
just the mustache.
Not the mustache be pure black and the rest of mine be brown.
You need Just for Men for that. Not an advertiser.
Yep, not yet. We'll keep pushing it.
Yeah, we've been in contact. Don't worry. Brian, where can people find you online?
Yeah, if you want to find me at Boise Computers, where you can find me on Twitter. If you go to Bite of Tech, BITE of tech.com, on there has a link to all my different social media sites. You're more than welcome to jump in there and check out some of my blogs. I got some tech things, mostly Linux, hosting, things that most people here aren't interested in.
All the exciting stuff.
All the exciting things in life. Yes, how to automate things with scripting.
Oh,
so also check out our website, infectionpodcast.com. We have our still going strong Discord server.
Oh, no, that is currently like there was, I think the max I saw was like 19 people online at one point, which is fantastic. Because like 2 weeks ago,
13 online right now. Yeah. So it's definitely doing well. So people are really taking off with it. You know, and that's a nice thing. It's kind of like a social thing because people can chat throughout the day. They don't feel obligated to get on the microphone. So it's been working. So we have 54 people that are in there total. And
I just want to say, like 3 weeks ago, we may have only had like 13 people in the entire Discord. It's really, people really seem to be enjoying it.
So if you're not a part of our Discord, it's a great way just to hang out and chat with people. Go to infectionpodcast.com. In the upper right, there will be a thing that says, I think, connect now or something like that. Yep. It'll connect your Discord account with ours, and you'll be able to chat with us on the server. Also, I mean, TeamSpeak we may take away. We'll see. It's still there.
It's nice to have because Discord, we had some.
But let's say Discord goes down or something.
We did have a reliability issue with Discord this week, but the button's right here. You join that. Another quick thing, I'd also recommend the mobile app for Discord, and just turn off all notifications that aren't at you. But that was nice this week. Somebody poked me or tried to poke me, and it popped up as a mobile notification. So way better than the TeamSpeak app, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and the TeamSpeak app costs quite a bit for an app. It's like $4 $5. $5, yeah. So this is free, so it's a great way to get in there. On there also is a link to our Steam group. So if you're not a part of our Steam group, we have 360-ish people that are a part of that. I encourage you to go in there. If by now you aren't, I don't know why. Just get in there. It's not going to cost you anything. So there's
a fee to join, but
a small fee.
small fee.
Maybe that's what's been making people not join.
Yeah, so you can do all of that stuff. Let's see. So Steam sale wrapped up yesterday, 4th of July. I hope everybody had a good 4th. And I'm going to be honest, there was, it's kind of lackluster, to be perfectly honest with you. I was excited, but at the same time, there really wasn't a whole lot. And here's the thing. I don't have like 700 games like Brian does. So I am like the perfect candidate for the Steam sales, and I normally take advantage of them. I set my limit. I said I'd spend at most $150. Like I was like, all right, I put this money.
That's a nice game limit.
I put this money aside. I was like, I will spend $150 on games. I spent $10. I bought one game. about Rust.
I spent $3.
About Rust. That was it.
I think it was $3.
Not that the deals weren't good, but like it was games like GTA, which most people already have. Fallout was a really good deal for $30, which I again already had.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, oh, by the way, the Civilization 5 bundle pack, it was like $150 worth of games for $11. That was, again, great deal, but I already had it, and everything else kind of sucked. H1Z1 was on sale, but again, it was like the 35% or whatever they do with that. Good deals, but everybody already has those games. They're normally with these Steam sales, the flash sales are what make it, and they've gotten rid of the flash sales, which in my opinion makes the Steam sales pretty useless because
and plus they've removed that whole mechanic of there's a time limit on this. I need to get this right away, because that's how they got me so many times. Is something would come up and be like, this is a limited time. I got to get it now. You didn't have time to think about it. Like that's the ultimate way to just kind of grab those people and pull them in. With me, it's like I just wasn't happy with anything I saw on the list. And I'm jaded because you mentioned before, I pretty much have a lot of the main games that we're looking for. And so the things that were there that I didn't have, I was like, I don't really want those. That's why I don't have them. But there are some really good sales. For instance, I was going to mention later, Miscreated. It's 50% off still till the 11th.
Yeah. And
so that one wasn't really for the Steam, if it wasn't for the summer sale, that one's just 50% off because of their new release.
Yeah. And, the interesting thing that it's not that I saw, because there's no inside information, but the sale was, like you said, Brian, the flash sale is quick stuff that pops up like every 3 hours they wipe the thing.
Yeah.
They do it every 3 hours, but everything was on sale till July 4th. So you had 2 weeks of the same games being on sale. There was nothing new ever added. They would just
and there was no reason to go back and look. Like when there was the flash sales, you'd be like, I need to check back every little bit.
Yeah, I was refreshing.
With this one, once I looked at it the first day, I was like, well, there's no reason to even look anymore, because nothing's going to come up. Nothing's going to change.
F5ing the homepage like 1 p.m. Eastern when they announced the Steam sale, tried to buy Rust about 40 times before it actually let me buy it. And then you're right, I never went back and looked at it the rest of the week because there was nothing there. So I really hope that they reevaluate the flash sale thing and maybe bring that back for the winter sale, because if we have, again, 2 more weeks of the sales are good. Most of the sales are good, but it's games that not most people, but a majority of people, I think, that are PC games are like Rocket League was already on sale. That game's huge. So many people already own that. GTA, Ark was on sale, but again, 70,000 people are playing that game right now. So who knows? But I got Rust. So
I'm still disappointed about DayZ. I mean, 15% just wasn't enough for me.
And it was 15% before the Steam sale.
Yeah, so it's like it wasn't really a sale.
No, it was not a sale at all.
And so that, if they would have discounted it just a little bit more, I would have pulled the trigger on it. And that's one that is getting to the point now where I actually want it. So that for me was frustrating, because the game that I was really watching out for just wasn't that, it was just like, this isn't a sale, and if they would have 25%, I maybe would have done it.
Yeah.
But I just knew 15%, like it's always around that price.
Exactly. So we'll see. I was, I think my opinion's changed. I was thoroughly disappointed by the Steam sale. 'Cause there just really wasn't anything that was like, oh man, I got to go buy this. The flash sales were always key, and those were not there. So,
yep.
That's Steam sales. I know a lot of people feel that way as well. Other than that, we made, we played Ark as our game of the week Friday night.
Yes.
We did that.
Thursday. Well, so for some people, Thursday night, Friday.
We
Saturday,
played
Sunday.
Monday, exactly. And that went over very well. Over a decent amount of people there. A little bit less than I was expecting, to be honest with you. But a lot of people.
It was a holiday weekend, though.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people. I mean, you should see my hockey game last week. So many people missing. Like, just people are out of town, and tonight's going to be horrible. Like, people are out of town for that week, because this is when you get a 4-day weekend like that, 3 to 4 day weekend for a lot of people. It's just they're going to go on a trip, and so they're not here.
Exactly. So that went over well. We are we're trying to figure out what next week's game of the week is going to be. And then also quick note, kind of some housekeeping stuff. Next week's show, I'm going to be away, so we're going to try to do it Tuesday night at 7, but I'm not sure about internet connection or times I'm going to be available. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at InfectionCast, C-A-S-T, and we'll keep you updated. I'll know Saturday or Sunday what day we're doing the show and what time, and if it's going to be live, if it's not going to be live. But there will 100% be a show within the next within the next 7 days. There will be a show sometime next week. I'm just not sure when and in what capacity. So
yeah, we might just need to pick when you have the best internet.
Yes, exactly. Well, exactly, because staying in a hotel, it's like the best internet is not 7 o'clock. It may be
that's when people will get back to the hotel rooms and start watching Netflix and everything else.
So we'll try to we'll figure it out. And if I have to pay for a hotspot or something like that, we'll do that too. It's a non-issue. So we'll figure that out. But make sure you follow us on Twitter at InfectionCast. And speaking of our InfectionCast Twitter, we actually got quote tweeted by the H1Z1 Just Survive today, and we'll get into some H1Z1 news a little bit later on. But we do have a lot of ARC news this week. We've been playing a lot of ARC. Brian, you've been playing a little bit more than me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with ARC. I really enjoyed it, but people are not going to like that I'm saying this. I really enjoyed it, but we're at the point now where we've got so much stuff built up that I really honestly have no interest in playing anymore. I know that's going to sound weird, but it's like the fun part of ARC for me is like grinding and getting stuff done. And we're kind of at the point where most of the stuff is kind of done. Like we've got power now. We've got this massive base built, multiple of most types of dinosaurs tamed. It's
See, I just went up north and was like, well, I'm going to go get a wolf. You know, in which at 25 was about, I think it was, I don't remember what level I was at, but that's pretty tricky to do when you're going for a level 75 wolf, because the thing will kill you very, very easily. And so I took my wife and PHVCK, and we just went up and said, all right, well, I'm gonna go get a wolf. And we lost a couple of dinos doing it, but we got 2 wolves that were level 100, whatever, so we just made an evening of that. And for me, that was fun. Because it wasn't about going in and getting supplies. Like that's kind of the fun challenge. And we do have, we went a little off vanilla. We have 4-time tames. So what I'm thinking,
okay, a little more than off vanilla. Brian is changing the day and night cycles. Somebody deleted the entire base and it got rolled back. Don't sit here. And hey man, we're vanilla.
Yeah, they said there was an update, and somebody's like,
the update did not break it.
Yeah, they're like, the platform exploded. I'm like, okay. And
the update, after I was playing on the update for 45 minutes, the base exploded miraculously.
The base exploded, and so they're like, you need to restore from a backup. So I restored a backup from 10 minutes before, and the base was still there.
Ridiculous.
So they contacted me right away, but I thought that was...
So we're changing day-night cycles. We got all this stuff going on. But it's fine.
So I think what we'll probably do is, wipe, because they are doing so much content. I think it'd be fun to wipe every once in a while, or wipe and try the center. Like the center's a totally different map. It'd be fun to explore. It's got a lot of new content being added. I think that would be a good one. We could go through and then do Primitive Plus. Like
that's exactly what I was going to say. I like the part of the game I enjoy is I don't like games where you have to grind. Like I'm not a big fan. Like I wasn't a big fan of Destiny. I'm not a big fan of those kind of games where you're just grinding and grinding and grinding. But I really enjoy Ark from the beginning when you're literally using stone tools and when you die, it doesn't matter because all you're doing is recrafting the same 6 stone tools and stuff over and over again. I really, really like that. So I guess Primitive Plus might be fun to try because it'll really limit what we can do in terms now there's already electricity at the base. I heard from today. I played at midnight. I was playing at midnight last night, and now there's already electricity and all that stuff set up. So, but yeah, I think the center with Primitive Plus would be pretty.
So neat. Let's go ahead. Okay, so let's jump into that really quick.
Yeah.
So coming this month, Primitive Plus is going to be an official add-on, official one. So we'll wait on that. The center is already out, right? They are putting out updates to it. So probably what we'll do is after we feel like, we've, kind of we've seen all the new stuff in the island map, which is the one that we're working in right now.
Yep.
then when interest starts to die off on that a little bit, I can just save that as is, right? We don't have to destroy it. We don't have to delete it. And I'll just start up a new one with the center. And then we can all play for, a week or two on the center and just experience that. And then by then Primitive Plus should be out and just kind of cycle it. Because I think, as you said, a lot of the fun part is going through and being, the noob who's just trying to struggle and survive and get stuff going.
Because it's like I was out Friday, I was out Saturday, I was out Sunday, and then I was out yesterday. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to play. I did play a few hours here and there, but I didn't have like 8, like with Ark, like you could sit down and play for like 8 hours and get a lot done. I never had that opportunity this weekend. So every time I jump back in the game, it's like, we had 4 dinosaurs when I logged out, and now I log back in, and we've tamed every single dinosaur on the map. And it's like you log back out
what
again.
I would do with Primitive Plus is not increase the taming time. I morally did it for this because it was a holiday weekend and I wanted people to experience it quickly.
And it was cool to be able to constantly have quick dinosaurs popping up. But when you didn't have a lot of time to play, it's like you log in, it's like there's this like everything was there and I didn't do anything. And it was just for me, like now I log in, I'm like I have nothing to do with any of this stuff. I have no interest in playing on it. So that's just that's how I, come from this. But nothing against anybody that's playing. It's just when you didn't take part in any of this stuff and you just log in and it's all there. It's like, oh, this is kind of boring because it's not.
Well, and that's where I think it would be fun. I mean, I know it's fun for some people to get, like feel like you're progressing, but I don't think on a private server it's necessarily as fun to have like a huge big thing, So I think if we kind of reset more often and go through that whole just experiencing everything over time, I think that'll make a difference. So we'll probably get to the point, and we can do that meteor thing to where it actually just has a countdown that's kind of like, oh, it's going to reset automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll look at how to implement that, and maybe we'll end up doing that just so that people can say, okay, the refresh is coming. Hey, let's all get together and let's get some stuff done. And then if people don't want to that month, they don't have to.
Exactly. So, and one other quick thing on Ark, I've actually been working on a project with the Ark tripwire, and I should be pushing I'm going to be pushing the thing either tonight or tomorrow up to GitHub. So we tested this thing. It's really cool. I just put together this little PHP script that interfaces with the new Ark tripwire alert notifications. It's really convoluted to set up, and it only works on private servers. And honestly, there's really no full understanding of how it actually works because there's no documentation, and the developers even gave the wrong information to start. So this is very, very early for this thing, but it's called Ark TTT, and it's on GitHub if you just search for Ark TTT. And it's an interface between Ark, the tripwire notifications alerts, and the website if this then that. And with that site, you can literally do anything to interface with like any of Belkin's like little Wemo devices. Philips sells those huge light bulbs, Arduinos. You can literally interface with anything. Text messages. That's what I was setting up. So it's a tripwire alert notification that.
And like I have my Amazon Echo. Yeah, so you could totally I could have it say something, like, hey, you are being raided. Yes, exactly. And whenever that happens.
So like I've got the way I just had it set up, when the tripwire went off, it would send me a text message that would say Ark alarm, the date, the time on the server, the alarm, where it was in the map, and the Steam ID of the who it was tripped by. So that's kind of what I'm working on. So there'll be a link in the show notes. But if you just go to github.com and search for Ark TTT, it will show up. There's no code pushed yet because there was stuff that changed, but there will be by either tonight or tomorrow. So
okay,
that's some cool stuff coming there, and that's a really, really neat system. It was really, in my opinion, it was a really crappy implementation of it because it only works on private servers, and there's no
because ours is gonna do for everyone's tripwire on the whole server.
Exactly, and there's no alerts for tribes. It's a whole server wide alert. It doesn't make any sense. So you would see, like, if Brian and I are two separate clans or tribes, and his tripwire trips, I'm gonna get the text, he's gonna get the text, everybody's gonna get the text. It doesn't make any sense. So
they've got to implement a way for us to set that, okay, this is our tribe, like have some sort of a code in there.
Yes, exactly. And have it for each tribe have a thing. So
Yep.
there'll be a link in the show notes for that. But if you're inclined to tinker around with the Arc tripwire alerts, which are really cool, let me say, they're really, really cool that it'll interface with, IFTTT. But there's some, it kind of sucks that it doesn't really work like it should, and how they kind of posed it that it should be working, right?
Yeah. So your internet is struggling.
Okay.
I'm actually typing it. You can kill your feed to me, because that way.
Okay. Well,
I just know that it's going to be affecting the stream, so I just didn't want.
You look good here, so
I guess. I think it's just your outgoing that was struggling. So just kill your feed to me, and then I'll be fine. I'll trust what's.
Gotcha. Okay. So
what's happening? All right. So let's go ahead and go into what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, with the Arc, because they came out with one, and we weren't sure when the next patch was going to be coming out, but they did a number of small patches, and then they released a major patch. So
now let me say really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the first time they've ever done. This is 243.91 because they said
usually they get to 9
and then go over. So this is the first time we've seen increments. There was 9.1, 9.4, 9.5. I've never seen that before with Arc. And what was the reason that they weren't going to 244?
Because they like to do major versions, like a major change.
Yeah.
They don't like doing minor changes with the dots.
Exactly. So
this one, they were like, oh, we don't want to go to 244 for something so small. And so they were like, okay, well, and this is the first time that they've done .91, which is the correct way to do it. Except for it's .91. So it may, with version things, get kind of weird if someone wrote a script that's saying, if the number is smaller than this, put it in this order. I don't know if they thought of that. They should have done like 2.4.9.1, but they've never done that before. So it probably would mess it up something
with
else.
3 dots probably would have screwed it up. 2 dots probably would have screwed it up more than anything else. But there is new stuff. So
yep. So this is June 29th that this came out. Yep. So this was just a day or two after our show. Say they fixed various Taro, which I think is pterodactyl, right? And Quet's chair exploits that allowed getting through structures, so you could fly in and kind of pop through, and they're constantly working on that because it seems to be something that people must try a lot. Fixed an issue where tribe alliances would not initially be loaded, causing pandemonium among dinos and turrets within cross-alliance bases. So it was loading people in before it realized that they weren't supposed to be there, so dinos would start aggroing, turrets would start shooting at people before it's like, oh, you're in an alliance with us, we're not going to kill you.
Nice. So well, a little bit too late for that.
Yeah, at the point you're dead, so... All right, so 243.94. So they skipped. So they must have had a few minor inner patches that they did before this, but they didn't say what those were. So on June 30th, they did fix various important network issues involving teleporting, fast travel, resulting in invisible structures on clients, improved server performance. So pretty much, if you would have teleported, you probably wouldn't see something that was there. It didn't load into for you properly. Improved server performance by approximately 5%, depending on the number of connected players. And they fixed an issue where the rafts could appear in the correct location on clients. So I guess they weren't lined up properly. All right. And are we still? You still?
Yeah, it is. It's a Twitch issue. It's not on my end.
Okay,
I just checked. So it's strictly a Twitch issue.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Twitch, man, who knows? All right, and then they did 243.95, which was July 1st. They fixed a networking performance issue that was affecting servers with 2 or less cores. So this helps with approving non-dedicated hosts. Maybe people are running desktops in their house is what they're mostly thinking. And then here's the 244, which was for the 4th of July holiday. That they actually, and that's what they were wanting to do with this. They didn't even announce. 244, we talked about this last week, was supposed to be a, something that was happening at the end of this month. It was supposed to be the major Primitive Plus patch. So they put this one out, gave it 244. They did a holiday event where you could have colorized. They said colorizable. They didn't say tintable. Look at that.
Wrong. The wrong words.
They're not using the proper programming lingo. So they did sparkler skins. So you can apply those onto torches. Like wall torches, standing torches, and it will for infinite light colors. So it will put a little sparkler on there instead of light, and I don't know how long that's going to be going, but get them. It says from diseased leeches and fireworks launcher skins, which are from the Alpha Masars, which are something that's in the sea. They're like the sharks.
Yep.
Fix for missing resources on snow areas on the island after the biome update, because that happened pretty recently. Fix for increasing memory when opening inventory UI repeatedly. Approximately 10 to 15% loading speed performance improvement and faster connection to servers. This, I think, is because they enabled a thing for caching. So it caches the plugins and some things. This was an experimental thing that they had initially. But I think for this patch, they actually turned it on. So it gives you a faster loading time.
I'm going to be honest. They had really fixed the loading time thing in Ark. When I was playing this week, they were still pretty bad. And I know you had like 2 or 3 mods, but it was still like an excessive load time. We're talking like 90 plus seconds, which is a little bit excessive.
It should, with the caching, once it's loaded those mods the first time, just realize that it has them, they're up to date, and not go through such a long process in the beginning is one thing that they're supposed to do. So, So we'll see, and they're working on that. So we'll see if they get it to where it's even shorter. They added a lot of powerful development kit functionality hooks. So that's for people that are making mods and things like that for the game. They said a lot of Alpha Masauruses in honor of the Shark Week 2016.
I love that.
And if you kill them, you get a special edition item. So if you go in the ocean, I'm sure there's just going to be a lot of sharks everywhere. So you may not want to swim for a little while.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's 244. And then they, of course, did 2 smaller patches after that. One thing was a unversion hot fix. So this is something they released, but they didn't put it in to this. And, they rolled it up to this version. Significantly reduced client-side hitches and stalls during network structure streaming. So this is something we were noticing because this was done yesterday or in the last 2 days.
Just going to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they did something to reduce that because this was a bug that we hadn't seen for a long time. That it was initially when we first started playing Ark, you would have those 3-second pauses.
Yeah,
where it's like 3 to 5 seconds, and it's like lag, and that seems to have been less as of yesterday. But that it went fully back to that level of you had a 3 to 5 second type of a pause. So, that is. That hopefully will continue to be improved. I'll just play a little bit this week and see if it's there at all or if they've gotten rid of it. And they fixed unharvestable snow transition trees. So that, at the point where it transitioned from the regular biomes or other biomes to the snow biome, there were trees in there that you couldn't cut down. They've made them all harvestable. And then 244.2, they fixed an issue where fish endlessly spawned on land near the redwood biome. So this one, I have an image. If you take a look, there's just tons of fish, and they're everywhere. They were on the land, they were in the water, so there was an issue.
Oh my!
Yeah, there's fish everywhere.
It looks like you're in SeaWorld.
Yep, and if you look, like that's land below them, like they're on the shore swimming.
Nice.
So this was one that they put out pretty quick. This was done 2 days ago. So this is 244.2. So that brings us current on the game. Another thing I was going to show is they gave a preview. So they did the redwood in the island biome, and now they put out a preview because they're going to be putting, now that the assets are all available, they're going to be implementing the redwood biome into the center, which I just keep hearing it is an incredible map. I haven't tried it yet. And I kind of want to wait until we do it as a group so I can experience it with everyone else.
Ain't that nice? Trying to be a standout guy and experience this with everybody.
Yeah. But here, don't play music.
Just playing the video here.
They'll tag us because it is a song that's. It is a song. They tag us because they'll add music that's from some person and they'll say you're not supposed to use this music.
Yeah. So this is what we're looking at. This is just the overview of how the redwood, which is, by the way, we were experiencing in the new map added to the center. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, Brian, but. The redwood, that's where our base is actually built. And it's,
yes, you
guys wanted to do the tree. It wasn't my first pick, but it's a cool mechanic. And my hesitation was people's reviews in the past saying, like, we're constantly dying from, like, getting knocked off our base, or animals will wander off the edge and fall and die.
Yeah.
stuff is happening like that, where people were having like big issues with dinosaurs and stuff just dying because of the top of the base, falling off the rope ladder, huge lag spike, you fall to your death, stuff like that. So what about you? Were you happy with the
we didn't
area?
have very much. Yeah, we didn't have very much up there, and I think we can put some sort of railing and things around it. So far, like, it's a much safer area. The place that I was looking at, because I was always by that blue lake, and so I went to the same place on the blue lake on the new map, and it was just a ridiculous number of terror birds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just swarms of terror birds constantly. It just became a problem. So I was like, okay, this isn't a good place for our level currently to be, trying to get settled when terror birds are just constantly attacking us. So what I ended up doing was, saying, all right, let's go find an island. And JD, he found a really nice place on there that was still right on the edge of the redwoods. So we're in the redwoods, but we have easily, we can have a base that's on the ground right next to it, or, in a non-redwoods area.
Yep.
So we did that, and it's a very nice place. It's got quick access to water. It's got quick access to the other biomes. It'll be really nice. So we'll just have to keep playing with it and see. Being in the trees, it's still up in the air. We got some nice things up there, but it's not. I don't think they have the mechanic for it up to the point of what I'm wanting.
No, and this is the issue. And I was kind of, I could tell I was butting heads with some people, because I was like, I don't want to build, like, the issue, the thing when you build a base on the ground, you build your base, and then outside of that you have a larger wall with all of your animals. So they have to, in most cases, get through your walls or your gates, get into that where the animals are, or the dinosaurs that are not dinosaurs, and then break into your base. With this, with these tree bases, you're up in the air, and all of your dinosaurs are on the ground. And like, if you're getting attacked, you've got to now leave your structure, go down a ladder into your other area, or your pen where your dinosaurs are, hop on your dinosaur, and then try to attack. Like, it just seems like it's very inconvenient to be so high up where you can't have animals. You really can't quickly.
You almost need to have a bunch of beds in your animal pen as well.
Well, it's something, because there's no, like, right, like on the old official server we played on, if we were getting attacked, you open the front door, you run out, you hop on a dinosaur, and you're right in there, and you're attacking. Now you're opening the front door, you're going down a ladder, you're opening another set of doors, you're getting your animal, you're closing that set of doors, and you're leaving. There's just a lot. I think there's a lot more to that mechanic. There's just too many big dinosaurs.
It's a cool idea. It's a cool idea, but they're going to have to implement it very well. Like, it's going to have to be the point, or there's just not a way to store your animals up there right now. Like, there's no ramp. There's nothing that makes sense right at the moment.
The only thing that's convenient is birds, but they don't attack.
What about an elevator? Like,
yeah, they need something.
I mean, they have those elevators. I just haven't tried them. I wonder if you can attach it and have an elevator to transport a number of your dinos up and down there. As when you get in, you just get in your elevator, go up to the top, and park it somewhere.
I just don't. The mechanic is cool. The idea is cool. They're trying to do a lot of cool stuff with it, and it's. I don't like it. I'm just gonna be blatantly honest. I just don't like it. There's nothing I really enjoy about the redwood trees. So.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see. I mean, we'll just have to. Yeah. As we talked about wiping it, so this will be. We'll look at it. Have people play on it long enough to see. All right, this is good or this isn't good.
Yeah.
And then most likely they'll be like, oh, let's do one somewhere else.
Exactly. So that's just my 2 cents. I know you, and I know PHVCK, and I know Jay Delory. Those guys are really enjoying the sky base. It just seems very, very unpractical for. The good thing is
that I think they're nice for an outpost.
They're nice for an outpost. They're not nice for a main base. It just doesn't make any sense. If you think, obviously we're on a private server, so we're not really dealing with rating issues. But I think it would be utterly stupid to have that on an official server, because if somebody's attacking your base, they're going to kill you before you can get to your dinosaurs.
Yeah, you have to go up that one ladder.
Yeah, they will guarantee kill you before you get to your dinosaurs. You are not getting out of your base down your 70-foot rope ladder and then into another thing without somebody killing you. So it's kind of wonky how the mechanic is. But for an outpost, I think they're great because they're high up in the trees.
Because especially if you just need a place that you're flying around and you need to land and either get some gear or drop some stuff off.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think you could place.
And you don't even need a ladder up there. Like take the ladder away once you're done. No, you have it just be a place that you land. No one can get up there unless they fly up there.
You just have a few of those, maybe 3 or 4 of those all over the map, and then just have them strategically placed at a good point where you could actually do some stuff with it.
Yeah, but that'll be fun. We'll try it out.
Yeah, definitely. Just the current implementation is just it's Brian. I think you'd agree. It's very close. But I'm not sure what else they could do to make it even better.
I mean, once the multiple ones connect together, and then if you could have, there's just got to be a way if you wanted to be fully in a tree base to get your dinosaurs up there, whether it's a whole platform that lowers.
Yeah.
You can load dinos on it, and then the whole thing goes up.
Yeah, kind of like a space elevator.
Like a space elevator, to where that's where you can store them, and then it takes you up to where then you can go on a rope ladder and go over to wherever your house is. Like make it to where it's fully up in the air, because right now you have to be split. Because what's my Bronto going to do?
Exactly.
You have to have a place down below, and that's where your dinos are. Well, you're having to protect 2 places, and it just doesn't work. What they're showing in concept, and I think that's their concept, is having it to where everything is fully in the trees. And if they could have one that lowers, even if you have ropes, on the sides or, big things around it and a gear, some sort of a motor that's lowering it down to show that mechanic, whatever. But I think that would be cool.
As do I. But here's the thing. I'm not criticizing them. They are going
above and beyond
to even make.
It's like complaining about the type of sprinkles on your ice cream. It's like,
well, that's a big deal.
Getting ice cream, and I'd rather have red sprinkles than pink sprinkles. But it's to that point to where in other games we're complaining that the ice cream tastes like hamburger.
Yeah. So it's a very
so they're doing very well.
I'm not complaining about the mechanic. I'm complaining about the implement, and I'm not even complaining. I'm just voicing my opinion. It will work for. I'm sure it'll work for plenty of people. Just personally, it doesn't work for me. So that's what's going on with the Arc stuff. And I think here's a good thing. Primitive Plus won't be out for how long? Like a month from now?
Yeah, they're saying by the end of the month. So I think the 28th is kind of what they were thinking, but they may be out a little earlier, but it should be by the end of the month is the release date. Okay. And they're going to they're adding fishing into this. They're adding in 2 new dinosaurs. So this will be pretty cool. They're doing a lot of little fixes.
Exactly.
But Primitive Plus, that'll be a lot of fun to do. I've never played on a Primitive Plus server, so I'm excited to have it be that limit of, all right, no crazy no crazy guns, no crazy, just it's more of what you would expect this type of an environment to be.
Exactly, because you get to a point where you can literally have like laser rifles or something crazy like that. So
yeah, you get laser plasma whatever rifles right here.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff that just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, and this one you don't get electricity or lights. You have to rely on torches, but still, it sounds fun.
Exactly.
So, do we want to do the giveaway now since we are?
Well, we're not even live, so the stream keeps going up and down, so nobody's probably even going to hear the giveaway.
Okay, so we can wait.
Yeah. Now we did have. Right now I can't even connect to Twitch. It's just kicking me off instantly. So we do have H1Z1, and we do have some pretty big stuff this week, and. We do have I don't know why, but they're doing I do know why now, but they're doing a patch and a wipe for Just Survive this week.
Yeah.
I don't remember when the last patch was. It's been
months.
It's I think it was months. I don't know if it's been months, but it's been a somewhat significant amount of time.
Okay, so the last time that they had a Just Survive patch,
or not a patch, I'm talking about a wipe.
Oh, a wipe. It's been a month or so, maybe.
I think it's been like 2 months or something like that. But
a month or a little bit more.
They're so frequent in between. So I don't know what's going on with that, but they are taking a few servers. So if you play on the server Deathlinger, Gravelands, Crazed, or Asylum, those will become the new Nomad servers, which what they are calling the Nomad is the no base building servers that have been on the those have definitely been on the test servers. They're now pushing those out to H1Z1 Just Survive. So Nomad has been through the testing process on the test servers and is now coming to the live server. So those 4 servers, Deathlinger, Gravelands, Crazed, and Asylum, will now become the Nomad no base building servers, which are going to be interesting because, nobody builds bases to start. So I'm really not, I don't really understand what the whole point of the Nomad. I've never really understood the whole idea from the start because it just, the bases play no significant role currently. So
well, there's just going to be less storing up of gear. Like it's going to be more like what probably the first week of a fresh server wipe is, but more constant, I would assume.
I just don't know. I
like the idea of it because, as you said, right now bases play such a little role into the whole thing because they're, other than storage, that's the only real point to them. They're not a place that you go hang out and do things at. It's nothing like what Ark is. Ark,
no, you live in your base.
Yeah, the bases are, your hub, and then you will go and travel around and do things, but then you always come back to your base.
Yeah.
The whole point of the bases in H1Z1 right now is you just pretty much go to your base to pick up whatever items you are, and then you leave, run around and do stuff. And then when you're done at the end of the day, you'll go back, maybe drop some stuff off and log out.
But I think I think that now is even a rarity. I don't even think people are going to their bases to get loot. It's not, and I'm not giving them crap for this. They've turned the loot spawns down to the point, which I'm pretty happy with the loot spawns, to a point where it's so hard to even stockpile loot that there's nothing at your bases to even go get. Now, obviously,
and you can't deconstruct the ammo and
yeah, I mean, if you're playing the game,
save up as much mass ammo.
If you've got 10 people playing, 40 hours a week, then I'm sure you would stockpile loot. But for the average player, I don't even think people are bothering with bases now because they're so expensive to build, and they provide so little. They provide so little benefit. Plus, they're constantly getting freaking no clipped into. There doesn't seem to be a mechanic for it. So now let me spin you this the positive way, and maybe this is what we need for base building to become that mechanic to be completely redone. Maybe we need these Nomad servers to be in place, and then maybe the next phase is a new and improved base building.
Because what they
system
might end up doing is rolling everybody to Nomad temporarily while they fix the base building system. Then eventually throw the base building system test one onto the test servers, right?
Yes.
And then say, all right, now we're going to roll out servers with base building, the correct new version of base building. Like that would make sense because base building is just kind of a cancer on the servers right now.
Yeah.
I mean, just being everywhere, limitations are weird. People just place them wherever they can. They look ugly. Like if they find that people gravitate towards these Nomad ones, just make that the standard because, as you said, the bases are kind of pointless at the moment. And then roll out, here is a base building server, and then see how many people actually take to the new base building servers.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same length with this stuff. This may be, it may not be. This may be the first kind of test into a new and improved base building system, because right now it's an absolute joke and nobody bothers.
Well, and they really need to do a modular system, and I know for them that's very difficult to do in their engine.
Yep.
It's just they're you could take a perfect example would be what Miscreated had to do to make the relevant system in their game. Like, it took them an incredible amount of coding because none of those features were already implemented because the engine didn't have it.
Well, it's because it's their engine. They're like,
yeah. Well,
they've never built
exactly, but
they've never made a game that requires base building. It's never been.
Yeah, because CryEngine never had that in there. It's not part of the engine. Unreal has that in there already, so it's easy for them to turn around and for another developer to sit and say, okay, we're going to make we have the relevant system in there already. It's just part of it. Well, Daybreak, when they make a change, it's not like they're taking advantage of a feature that they just haven't been taking advantage of. It's like, all right, we got to code in from scratch 100% of all this stuff that it does. So, all right, we're going to have our guys that work on the engine. All right, we need you to implement modular base building, which, it's a whole new thing. It's not like, hey, let's just make it so these pieces fit together. They have to program the whole thing in. So it definitely is a task. And because they were so silent on the whole new map thing, they may be working on it and we just don't know. Like, I'm giving them credit for that now.
Yeah.
It used to be because everything was so on their sleeve. Like, they were constantly saying, hey, this is what we're doing. And then, a lot of times it never come out and people get frustrated with that. Now to the point of, like, with the map, they were working on it. They didn't tell anybody. They put it out. We can't make the assumption that they're not working on it. There may be some base building things that they're just keeping totally silent. Maybe this is one of the new people that have come in and say, hey, you guys need just to shut your mouths and quit talking about what you're doing, because what if it doesn't get released, like we've seen?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, surprise everybody. They'll be much more happy when something comes out, or when you're close to launch, like put out a few screenshots like they did with the map and say, hey, look at some stuff we're working on. See all the hype that builds up? Like, that's the proper way to build the hype on this. So maybe they've learned their lesson, and maybe modular base building system is in a reasonable amount of time and they're not telling us, or, maybe it's not something even on the table yet. Maybe they are, that's not on their priority list.
And that's a real thing too. So that's kind of what we're dealt with. So the reason that they're doing the wipe is because they're changing those 4 servers over. That's the reason. Now, we did know this, but when they tweeted out today that they were doing the wipe, I asked them when the new H1Z1, when the test server, or when the Z2 map was coming to the test servers. They didn't say exactly, but they said hopefully in the coming weeks. So, but there is still much to do, which is fine. But, there's different... I'm hoping now that coming weeks was in the next. To me, coming weeks would be 3
by the end of the month.
For me, it's like 3 to 6 weeks. That's coming weeks. They're really working on this stuff during the week. 3 to 6 weeks is coming weeks to me. So this gives me kind of a time frame on what's going on. If it's longer than 6 weeks, I wouldn't say that's in the coming weeks. 2 months out is not coming weeks. That's coming months.
This is from Chris Wynn, right?
What do you mean?
I'm getting his name right. I think. He seems to be very consistent.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, Chris Wynn.
And so the fact that Chris Wynn said this gives me more hope that it's actually going to happen, because he hasn't really let us down. I don't think it up to this point, right? Like, I can't think of anything that he's really promised. He seems to be much more tempered in what he says.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if he says it's in the coming weeks, he's probably, within 3 weeks, 4 weeks is when they're aiming for putting that on the test server. So it very well could happen, because, for him, he hasn't sat there and said stuff and let me down to where I'm just like, no way. I don't even believe a word he says. But that's something he has to honor, though. Like, if he says in the coming weeks, he's going to have to put a push and put the thumb on these guys and say, hey, get it done, or we'll, give it within a week of when I said, so that I can say, hey, we're delayed. It's a week out. That I understand too.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but 6 months to 6 months, 7 months out, there's no excuse, and that's what we've seen in the past.
Exactly. So that's what's going on with that update. The update just hit the test server, and I'm watching social media and Reddit, waiting to see what the actual changes were. But as of right now, we know with those 4 servers, but we don't know what else is coming in. It may just be those 4 servers. But there is there was an H1Z1 Just Survive test server update as well. So we're waiting to see what's going on with that. It's definitely not the new map, but it's something. I'm not sure what. So we'll keep you up to date with that. Now, other than that, we've got
would that possibly be the holiday mask?
I don't know, but I don't really care.
That's something they haven't rolled. They were supposed to be rolling that out. It may be the holiday mask update of the mechanic to be able to earn that holiday mask.
Well, they said that was coming next week. And now
by as late as next week.
What Brian is referencing is this absolute debacle of like
July 4th.
Like Ark and like other games, it's neat to do seasonal, but events based on like holidays and stuff like that. So Ark did that thing on July 4th. Ark does stuff on Easter and Christmas. They do all these Thanksgiving. They have this crazy hard turkey that you can't kill. H1Z1 tries to do the same thing too. They've done masks. They did the pumpkin head and the scarecrow head for Halloween.
They did the Christmas one.
They did the Christmas stuff, and then they said they were doing a 4th of July mask, but there was the proverbial last minute issues. Which everything seems to be a last-minute issue, that caused it. So, for King of the Kill, if you got the 4 rewards in the skirmish game mode, they will credit your account this week. But the mechanic hasn't even rolled out for Just Survive yet. It's not even in Just Survive. So, at this point, you can't even get it in Just Survive. Which means
I feel like we almost need to roll their clocks or their calendars forward 1 week.
Well, here's the thing.
They need to work in a week ahead.
At this point, don't even introduce it for Just Survive. The 4th of July was yesterday. So you're telling me they're going to introduce the mechanic Wednesday or Thursday of this week? Sorry, but you're 4 days late from the actual. It should have been out a week before the holiday leading up to it. But you can't release it 4 days after the holiday too, because
and the funny thing is, my complaint with Ark has been that their holiday things are too timely. Like they'll be like, on this day of the holiday, you have this one day to do it, and they turn it off right afterwards.
Exactly. You've got 8 hours to catch the raptor riding in the Santa Claus
They're putting
sleigh.
in all this crazy content just for like a 1 day window.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's off. You missed it. And it's like, oh.
Damn.
And then this one is like, they're like, oh, we're going to be doing a week or 2 after the holiday. Sorry.
December 31st. Hey, we got the July 4th update in the game. You're log in to get your masks today. I really, and here's the thing, I really, really appreciate what they're doing. I like that they're doing this stuff because there's a certain enthusiasm. Like when that Scarecrow stuff came out, Brian, like you and I and all these other crazy people that play with us, God, we played H1Z1 for 6 hours trying to get every single person the pumpkin head. Every single person we tried getting it. We were crazy for these updates because it's just how humans are with this stuff. But you can't be 4 days plus late and still expect people to care. And like Gadlo's saying, but it's always 4th of July in America. While that is true,
yes,
you can't.
We're always shooting guns and fireworks off.
You can't be late. You can't be 4 days late with an update like this. If I was them, and if I was Chris Wynn, and I had to make the executive decision on this, I would say scrap it for Just Survive. Don't even bother putting it in there, and get it implemented for King of the Kill. That's what I would do at this point because it just doesn't make any sense to implement for Just Survive late. It just doesn't.
Unless they just give it away, just put it in there.
Or put it to everybody's account or something like that.
Yeah, it's if it's not going to be reasonable, just say, all right, we missed it. Sorry guys. Here, everyone gets to have it for this year. So all right. Now, one thing they did add, and we didn't really mention it. I don't think we mentioned it, but the shirts having the flags on them. I know we had mentioned it to each other.
Yes.
But I don't remember us showing it on the show. So they now have these shirts. They have 9 shirts that you can have the flag of your home country on. So you have to buy them. So each shirt costs 399 Daybreak cash. So now it's to the point where you just buy a skin outright, because you don't want to do the lottery system on this and end up with, Japan's flag and, the UK's flag and just whatever.
Yeah. Now what they could do, what I would do, is the lottery system. When it's a shirt and you get to choose one of the.
Yeah, you want the flag origin. Okay, yes. Pick which one you want.
Exactly. That would be the way to do it.
That'd be another mechanic.
Just 400 Daybreak cash and you're set to go. So you can't even win this. It's just 400 Daybreak cash.
Just buy it for your country.
Exactly. Of the 9 countries that they've added. So, but what is there, like 200 something countries in the world? But
they've added 9 so far.
Which is fine.
And these skins are so easy to add though. Like,
they look like, I'm going to say they look like crap on the website. Like the American flag, the bottom red line is jagged. It's not even. You know what this looks like? Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Brian. What these look like is like when you're on vacation and somebody is selling like the vinyl
on the
print,
corners,
vinyl print T-shirts, where it's just like you just have one. Like the machines are like $250. You just put a T-shirt on it, and then you get the skin, and then you just press the machine down, and it's heat. It's an adhesive.
Now, if they would have gone through and done like a America themed shirt,
exactly, a whole shirt, like I have. I've got the whole shirt. It's the stripes with the flag.
If somebody spent more than an hour making all of these, other than modeling the shirt, right? That's its own thing. But these are all on the same model.
They are.
If this took more than an hour to make all of these, I'm highly disappointed in their skill.
I mean, just look. It's literally like, okay, what do we need? Okay, put a blue tint on it, and then Google.com, USA.jpg. Paste it onto the shirt. Like that's literally what it is. Like
since Google.com hosts all of these flag pictures.
Yeah.
You probably went on the Wikipedia. Oh, let's go get the American flag.
Yeah, let's get the 15,000 by 15,000 pixel resolution image of it.
And then let's size it down to 256 by 256.
I'm not. God, I don't want to be the bad guy, but it's just so. It's just so low. It's just so low. In my opinion, this is just so low effort. Like, I want a real United States shirt.
So for a little inside baseball, like for this project I've been talking about that we're working on, I get to see some of the just prototype stuff of what people are putting forward to me. Like saying, hey, here's something I'm testing and seeing what it looks like. I get to see the level of quality of just stuff that they're kind of playing around with, and they come back to me with. And it's amazing. And then I see this and I realize like this, you could do, in a couple minutes per shirt. Like that's all you're spent. You're like, okay, this one's going to be a blue one. Let's put the American flag. The program just places it there and you're done.
This is what I want, bro. Here, let me see. I'll turn my video on. Brian, this is what I want right there. When I want an American flag T-shirt, that's what I want. That's an American flag T-shirt. The T-shirt is the American flag. It's not a freaking image posted on top of a blue T-shirt.
And that would have taken a little more time and actually used some artistic.
Yeah, look at this. This is a rustic. This is a rustic-looking faded American flag on a T-shirt. This is a legitimate T-shirt that somebody would wear. Nobody in their right mind would wear this blue T-shirt on the front page. This looks absolutely awful. Come on, who is going to wear that? That is the most low-effort thing I've ever seen put into this game. And they do
it's
some
like
pretty
if you have like when your own iron-on, like those kits.
I have one. I'm telling you.
I'm going to print this on my printer, and now I'm going to iron this on my shirt.
Brian, I have one of these machines. It looks like a hot. It looks like a hot press. It looks like it make like a when you go to like Chipotle and they put the burrito in the thing to make it warm. That's exactly what this is. This is an ironed-on T-shirt, and you can get these for like $15 at any. If you go to a boardwalk in any Ocean City town, you can get these at every single shop for like $9.
Well, the problem is like they were so conscious, like they didn't want to have to deal with the wrapping around the shirt that they only put it in the very center square of the chest. Like,
God,
I don't know.
It just
at least
pisses
make them
me
look
off.
Like, why not do like an American? Okay, so here, thinking outside the box a little bit, because I say this before, I don't like criticizing without having an answer.
No, and that's
right?
and that's a life thing, by the way. Infection life tip right here. You can't criticize something if you have no solution to the problem. You can't just say this sucks and not have a solution.
So yeah, rather than just saying, "Hey, you did it wrong," like let's just say Reddit. Pretty much, that's the Reddit. You did it wrong.
Oh, you suck, man.
Yeah, you suck. If you're gonna do that, at least turn around and say, "All right, well, here is how I would have viewed the proper way to do it." Treat it like a jersey. I've designed much better jerseys than this for my hockey teams.
Yeah, a jersey with numbers on the back, exactly, the whole thing.
Yeah, have it to be where it can be like a jersey looking thing for your home country. You know what I'm saying? Or like on a sports team from your country. Let's treat it like the Olympics. The Olympics are coming up. You want to make some money, have something that's kind of like an Olympic sports team in the game that you can go and support your country for the Olympics. Yes. I mean, come on, you guys want to make money. This is not the way to do it.
Honestly, if I had the choice, this would be the shirt that I would see for America in the game. That would be the American shirt.
America.
But it's just, I really, really, really tried to be positive because Brian has taken such a negative angle at this game.
I'm sorry.
And I have
still like twist
and I have had to, and I've really honestly tried to bring it back the other way, but there is not a damn thing I can say. But it was a Friday afternoon, and they were like, "We got to just get something done," and that's what the solution was. And that just,
or it's like, "Hey, we need to make about $10,000. What can we do?" Oh, okay. Here, spend 5 minutes.
It's just so God, I hate ranting. I really, really do. People think I love to sit here and rant. It's just so unbelievably low effort.
Yeah.
So there's like the only one that's kind of cool is the bottom one that's got a design on it. None of these other flags are cool.
Yeah.
And that's
weird. One they probably had already designed. And like, why does only that one have, a unique design? That one kind of almost looks like, I've played in hockey where people have jerseys that have that kind of a texture on it.
Okay.
Like that is a real thing. Like if they would have done that with all of them and then maybe put like a number and something on the back, treat it like it's a sports thing.
So, and then
these random t-shirts are just like,
So my other thing is, I believe this one right here, I'm pretty sure this is the Russian flag right here. Why is that logo so much bigger than like Great Britain's logo and the U.S.
Maybe the guy who designed it, maybe he is from Russia.
But it's just like this box is bigger than that. And
yeah, they didn't uniformly.
And and that one as well.
The UK is like the smallest. Well, no, there's the one where it's like on the pocket in the corner.
Yeah. Yes. There's just no. I don't know. It's just.
Oh, well.
It just really, really, really.
Anyways, that's just one little thing. They didn't really make a big deal of it. Like, it was just put out there. So, yeah.
And it just really is. It's kind of infuriating, to be perfectly honest with you. So there you go.
And the fact they're charging money, at least if you're going to put such low effort to where literally it took your guy less than an hour to make all of them, at least just say, hey. If you want to do a little bit of PR to bring your audience back, to bring your people back, say, hey, just as a thank you to our people who enjoy our game, you can go on our website, enter your account to have one of these shirts.
There you
go.
Not
charge $399 Daybreak cash for a shirt that if I would have spent 10 minutes on my computer, I would have come up with something that probably would look better. And I'm not even using their software that automatically wraps it around.
You could literally go to Spreadshirt and upload a picture of an American flag and have that thing to your house in 2 days. There is very, very little effort. So Daybreak, I'm sorry. I like to take the positive angle. This is the definition of low effort, not caring in the slightest what you're doing. I'm sorry. I really like
Broken Ugly does say they are owned by a Russian investment firm now. So maybe that's why Russia's flag is so much bigger.
It's just really...
They had to show it to one of their upper guys. It's like, oh, no, not that one. This one must be much bigger.
Not going there. But it's just, come on, guys. Like, just a little bit more effort I would have liked to seen from that. So there you
go. Especially if you're going to sell it individually like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're actually paying money individually for that object.
How much is $400 Daybreak cash?
So $3.99 Daybreak.
I don't even know how much Daybreak cash. Well, for EverQuest, $5 is 500 Daybreak cash. So if that's
so you're pretty much spending $5, a little under.
You have to buy $5, so you have to spend $5. You're spending $3 on that shirt.
Yeah. So you're I mean, like a shirt that would probably in real life cost $3.
No, it costs about. You're looking at a $10 graphic T-shirt, which is the lowest graphic T-shirt comes is $10. That's what you're realistically looking at. So there you go. That's just my little opinion on that whole deal. And I have $3.99, so it was $4. All right, let's move on to some positive stuff because that was really negative, and I didn't want to rant, but it just really.
Okay, so here's something new that I saw a little notification that they're going to be putting in. So they're looking at putting in a feed
like Call of
Duty. Yep, similar to Call of Duty, where it says it has a little UI on the kill feed where it shows the gun that killed him. And it'll say, now it says Fiend.
That's his name.
Who's this player? Killed Arclegger. And if you see, like, there's a symbol of him shooting them in the back. I think that was because it was a team kill.
Okay, with the gun and the skin. That is the acid AK-47.
Yeah, so it shows the actual variation of the gun, but also there's a little symbol to the right that shows someone getting shot in the back.
Yep.
To show you that this team member killed his teammate.
Oh, shot in the back. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's these little prongs. I can't really, it's so hard to see on this. Actually, there you go. There's these little prongs coming out of his back that are, I think, what you're talking about, this team kill thing right here. You can see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
so I mean, that's cool stuff that they should be putting in. Makes the UI just look that much smoother.
Yep.
I mean, it looks nice. The way they did it, like that little symbol, I think it looks great. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good way
to do it.
Like CS:GO and Call of Duty and Battlefield, it's a kill feed. Currently the kill feed is Brian Aldridge died.
Yeah, I died.
Was shot by infected Nick. Like or died by the environment. Like there's absolutely nothing. And by the way, still waiting for it. They showed this in an art wrap like 4 months ago. That like when you died in H1Z1 or King of the Kill, they had this stinger that flew across the screen that was like, whoa, you died. And it was like different layers, that whole flying. This has got to be the same guy because this is the same thing. I can't wait until this game is no longer like 12-point aerial text and it's actually graphics. Because right now it's gray opaque boxes in white text on everything. It's pretty. Yeah,
they just need to get. They need to get one of their.
I think they do because I think
just to say like, all right, you have 2 weeks. Do something with the UI. Like, just make it beautiful. I mean, give one of them 2 weeks to do it, and they should be able to do. Because there are parts that they have improved, like the loading screen.
The new loading screens are great.
Yeah, you take a look at all those different things. Like, they've done a really good job, but the UI, and I brought this up before, where people are taking screenshots constantly, all those things, like the little symbols telling you what your health is. Like, they haven't touched that for so long.
Nope.
Just make it nice.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Now, the one thing they did is they announced. One of their guys finished up a new point of interest. Yes. And this is on the new is a strip mall, a new Z2 map.
This is really, really cool stuff.
So if you go and look through it, like, they've laid it out. This is going to be something that's in there. I'm sure now, before they release it, like, it's just kind of an area where there's a few things here and there at the moment. But this, they put cars in there. They've got trash kind of littered around, a nice set of buildings. They all look different. I don't know exactly what all is going to be. I did see that there is like an automotive shop, so maybe it'll be a point of interest that you're most likely finding car parts in. They have a number of different areas in this of different types of shops, and that would be kind of cool if they themed the loot. Like, you're like, oh, I've got to go check out I've got to check on the automotive place. Maybe they'll have turbo for my truck.
Yeah, Robert's Motors. And now the other interesting thing is there's on the sign of Robert's Motor, there is a Jeep with a skin, which is maybe some foreshadowing at what is
finally skinning Jeeps or anything.
Finally, something to come in the future. Yeah, exactly.
Because this would be something that they could totally do. Like,
you want to talk about making some cash money there. You're talking about Jeep skins.
Imagine
and
how many
skins?
variations that you could have of vehicles.
Yeah, your own wraps
just the skins.
And everything.
Yep, like and imagine like the streamers, like the big streamers, they had their own themed car.
Yeah,
that people would go nuts over that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened with the hoodies. Good Lord,
Yep.
when that stuff was announced, it was people. I knew somebody that we knew, internet chick, spent over $100 on that Twitch hoodie. Over $100, real U.S. dollars to buy that Twitch hoodie. People are so swag, and that kind of stuff is so like people get so wrapped up in that. They will spend any amount of money and put so much effort into getting streamer swag and stuff like that. It's insane. It's almost disgusting when you think about it. But everybody's like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Now, one thing, like this is totally a test one, because if you look at the doors, like on Jane's Slop and Biscuits, like they actually have little symbols.
Yeah,
like they have a little symbol that says, "Oh, here's the way that the door swings."
Yes,
like because that's something that they add in at the engine level because it's an interactable object.
Yes,
and so they don't want to put the doors in because then they would not open. When they're doing it, in their imaging software. So that's one little funny thing I noticed in there. They have Nanite Systems, which is a computer shop. I can't imagine, what in the apocalypse, unless there's some sort of maybe something in crafting at some point in Just Survive.
It's a possibility.
Electronics, something like that. It's something we haven't really seen. But yeah, they got a couple restaurants, a gas station. If you look, one thing you notice in the very back, there is a gas truck.
What image is that on?
It's the one that shows the Jane Slop and Biscuits. So they have a semi.
Yeah, I do see that now. It's right up here. Right up there at
the
top. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a tanker, it looks like. Is that what you're catching out of that?
Yeah,
that looks like
it's a
gas tanker.
That's a gas tanker. You're right. And we've yet to see any tanker in the game yet.
Yeah, and so that's something for me that I haven't seen. So it's nice on these things. You kind of catch a little bit of extra things in there, like things that they haven't actually seen. And we haven't seen much of the new map. Like I haven't played it since they've actually put loot in there. So I was thinking of playing some Just Survive here in a little bit. Not today, but just to kind of run around the map and try to see, or not Just Survive, but King of the Kill, and play a little bit on the new map, because if they're still adding things in.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any kind of a truck like that.
No, and the only thing we saw from their stream was the new truck, the semi truck, the actual truck itself, like the actual whatever that's called, the cab. That's all we saw. So that's some good stuff coming from H1Z1 there. Now, what else do we have here? We have a game giveaway. You want to do that?
Yes, let's go ahead and get. Well, I don't know is the feed up right now.
It says it is. I have absolutely no clue.
I think it's offline right now. So what I could do is type it.
Yeah, let's just do that. Whatever. Who cares?
Okay. Just okay. Came back on. So I'll type things in chat just to make sure people hear them.
Yeah.
And so that way we don't have it be. So
exactly.
Type deer. Let me get in there before people see that. So this is going to be Dear Esther. It's a fun game. I know some people had messaged me saying, "Hey, this is a game I'm interested in." But Dear Esther is it's just a kind of you run around and figure out a mystery.
Ooh. So
so if you type deer in chat, not DEER, it's DEAR, right? Yep. And it's kind of a, I don't know, it's mostly positive is the rating, but it's an interesting little game where you go and explore. It's kind of spooky.
Ooh, such spook.
Yeah, it's I think it's a fun game. I played it for a while, and I think that people will enjoy it. So type deer in chat, and then make sure people see that.
And then you'll be entered for deer.
Yeah,
odd name for a game. I guess, unless it has something to do with
Dear Esther.
It
has something to do with the story.
So you're writing a letter. I would assume to Dear Esther is who you'd be starting the letter off.
Yeah, it's a walking simulator because there's no vehicles and it's on an island. Indie exploration, first person, mostly positive ratings. Been out since 2012. So the fact that it has recent positive ratings, shows that it's well done.
Yes.
So you're on a deserted island, Lost Man, memories of a fatal crash, a book written by a dying explorer. And so you just have these hints that kind of take you through a story.
Yep. You got it. So there you go. Enter Dear, DEAR in chat. And if you're not watching live, you should be watching live because this is part of the live show is these giveaways. So make sure you're here live watching this stuff and you'll take advantage of them. So, wow. Did we have quite a week for everybody's favorite game to hate on, and that is Miscreated. I said privately to Brian this week, I made some comments about the future of Miscreated, and it seems like this number 36 patch, which was on the unofficial build for some time. But it went,
for like a week or two.
Yeah, it went live this week. And when we some foreshadowing to current players a little bit later on in the show, you're talking like massive people playing this game, like
compared
tens of times of people playing this game compared to what they were before. So we're talking huge numbers for Miscreated. And by the way, SteamDB's current owners is absolute BS because I still have written down from 2 weeks ago that it had 181,000 owners. It's down to like 160, which they didn't lose like 20,000 sales. If anything, they gained sales
owners,
over the Steam sale. They didn't lose owners. So that just proves how inaccurate that is. So we'll have to wait and see. But this. We talked about most of the stuff in this patch.
Because this was on the test server, and so this is them rolling it out to the actual live server.
And kind of the headline is patch 36, storage, which we've talked about. That's the relevant system. Tents, talked about that. The downtown district, reloading, wolf AI, the new mutants, hunting, campfires, and much more. So this is a all kind of update. There's a lot of stuff going on here. The biggest one, of course, being that storage system and with the introduction of relevance, which we've talked about extensively. So patch 36 is up. Miscreated is still on sale. It will be on sale till the 11th, so you've got until next Monday to get this game for $9.99, which is as low as it will go. So
that's pretty cheap, and it's a great game for that price. And I did see a note of one of their developers saying, hey, they stated, hey, we are having this many active players right now. A lot of this because of the patch and the sale. Also, they did mention that now, like, they're getting ready to do another thing they think is going to boost the number of people again. So I don't know what that is.
Oh, is that what they said? That they're just working on something new?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And so there is something else that they're doing that they're expecting the numbers to actively go up quite a bit. So, so it should be exciting.
Yes, very exciting.
In this game, I'm telling you, it's starting to take off. Like now,
this is just the start right here, though. Now here's the thing. I'd love to hear from them what their plans are to keep these people active, because once these players, and we can say this because we've seen it with H1Z1 time and time again. Players are really active, cool, but it's a curve. It peaks and then it will go back down to 200 people playing again. So they've constantly got to be keeping it up to date, so players are finally actively staying on the game. So have you played Miscreated recently? Have you?
I played it on the test server, so
what was your
play
experience? Because I didn't play it.
It runs a lot better. Like it's very responsive. My complaint is that they really need to work on the mechanics of how the character moves around, and looking down the guns, and make them feel more natural. Make it feel like when you're aiming at something, you're going to hit it. I mean, that's my main complaint. But as far as the world and how everything feels, they did. The new city is amazing. The new the server itself feels very responsive. You don't feel like you're lagging out or anything. That's one thing that I like a lot. So we'll see.
Yeah, so cool stuff coming there.
And yeah, definitely. I mean, it's on sale, so get it. Well, until the 11th, it's on sale. So if you don't have Miscreated, I would encourage you to go get it, because it's a game that's it's going to continue to grow. And if they decide, oh no, we put in all this stuff, we're not going to put the price down to $9.99 again.
And the worst case scenario is it doesn't, and you're out $10. Oh, you still have the game. It's just $10. It's not, you're not investing $60 into a game that may flop. It's $10 if you get it between now and the 11th. So, good deal in my book.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do the roll now before it starts showing people's drops. So I'm just going to encourage people to just type deer one more time just to make sure everybody's in there. Just to make sure it didn't, because since the screen or Twitch is having some issues, I don't know how many people are refreshing.
Yeah.
Just we'll do that one more time. Give them a second to type that in.
Yeah, and I guess according to some people in chat, there's ESLs going on this week or something. There's ESL tournaments.
It's using all of Twitch's bandwidth.
Well, this typically happens when DreamHack and ESL and all this other stuff goes on. So but again, show will be on YouTube. It'll be downloadable via RSS. So there's in those versions will all be fine. My connection to Brian is perfectly
version,
fine.
He records this locally and then uploads it to YouTube. So regardless of what Twitch is doing,
Brian is perfectly fine here. Our connection is, for the most part, very good, so we're having no issues on this end. So, cool. 7 Days to Die, Brian. We've got some news on 7 Days to Die.
Yes, 7 Days to Die. I caught a video and I actually I put some clips here at those times. Mm-hmm. So you can do a muted because it's a guy talking, but I can explain what's going on. I can't see your screen, so you're gonna have to cue me when you start it.
Okay. You want the first one? You want to play the first one?
Yeah, just do the first one.
Okay.
So they're adding in a new point of interest, and this is going to be a bomb shelter. So this is something that's hidden somewhere in the map. You have to go find it. Yep, they're not telling you where it's at. You have to go and find it for yourself on the map. But this is a bomb shelter that they've got. If he goes through, he's actually got a bathroom in there, a kitchen area, just everything that you would need to survive in a post-apocalyptic type of environment. It's just a full bomb shelter made for a number of people. It's not a small little bomb shelter. If you're listening in the audio, like this is a big bomb shelter with a full kitchen.
No, this is a real deal. Like if you had to live, it's not like a hole in the ground that's filled with cement. It's a real deal. Like if you had to live here, bomb shelter. Like it's like an apartment underground.
Yeah. So this is the new bomb shelter. And then we've got, if you want to go to the next one, we'll jump to that. Okay. This is the new, actually, I'll wait a minute here.
Sorry. Get that pulled up. Okay.
All right. So this is the journal. So they're adding in to kind of, my big thing is lore and all that. They're adding in things so that when a notification comes up and it says something happened,
yep,
it will actually give you a little bit of history on that item. So let's say, there was whatever that happened or this thing that you got, this achievement, and it'll tell you a little bit. Or if there's a note you found or a story or something, it goes through and has an extended version of that notification.
Cool.
They're going to be adding in the future to where you can go through and actually and put in your own notes. So if you want to keep track of things and kind of create your own story, you can put in your own notes into this thing.
Cool.
So now the next one, this is showing off some of their new zombies. So now it's titled UMA Zombies. Now UMA is actually a software that they use to create zombies for the Unity engine.
Okay.
So this first one you see, this is a new military. So that's not the UMA zombie. That's a zombie created in the new UMA system. But this one's going to have camo and like a Kevlar vest. If you kill it, they're harder to kill, but if you kill them, you can loot those things and get those items. So that's something new. He shows off a little bit later another zombie that was made in that system very quickly. The main thing is it usually takes them 2 weeks to create something like a new zombie. And now they can create a quick one. He just showed one he sampled making in like 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's quite a change in time.
Around. So if you look at the next link, this is actually the software that they're using now to where it's just a modeling software. They can create, create models off of it. They're not super high res or anything.
This is a Wix.com website. You're telling me this piece of software, they don't even have their own domain. that what you're telling me?
Yeah. This because this is a plugin, a free plugin for Unity that they're using.
Okay, all right. Just just throwing that out there. Hey, we made some software, but it's like the Rust DevBlock guy who needs $12 for his domain renewal fees. That's interesting.
They were just showing that they have the ability to make something this really quick, and get it out there and have it all done right, which is nice because
that is quite a turnaround time from 2 weeks to.
Yeah, I understand how difficult this process is, and so they've got it down to where they can add characters and change them pretty quickly now. So that's nice.
All right, let's get this deal.
So let's go and do the roll just to make sure the list doesn't go away. All right, Killcam.
Nice.
Killcam. Check out his YouTube channel. He does a lot of videos.
No free plug. It's just the game giveaway winner.
I'll expect paid next week, Killcam.
Actually, you have to give us a game now. 2 games now. Yeah, but check out Killcam.
Oh, hey, they updated the plugin. You see how it sent out a notification? I totally cannot. People can't accuse me of cheating anymore. You see how it automatically did the winner is Killcam? New feature in the plugin.
What are you talking about? That's okay. I'm sorry.
His Killcam said I won, and like it wasn't the 10-second delay yet that he should have noticed. I was like, that's weird.
The check is in the mail, so we should expect that very soon. We'll have to split it 2 ways, so hopefully it's quite a sufficient amount.
I'll send you that link, and it'll have a Humble Bundle gift.
So there is actually some news, and I'm glad people in chat reminded me of this. I saw this. I spend so much time on Reddit and Twitter during the week that I remember stuff. Normally I send links to Brian just to reference them later on in the week. But Player Unknown, who is the man who developed the Arma mod for the King of the what was it called? Battle Royale. Developed H1Z1's Battle Royale, now King of the Kill, is actually working on his own game now called Battlegrounds. And this is pretty significant. Yes. So this is essentially what this is from reading the descriptions, of course, this came out this week. The description of this is almost like Minecraft Hunger Games, but it's like this is like literally the Hunger Games. The description is Player Unknown's Battlegrounds will put 64 players on a remote island. It's a strategy game that is with important shooting skills. It's literally Hunger Games, the video game, with Player Unknown, who has now successfully developed 2 great mods or add-ons for great games that have worked out extremely well. And he's working with the game developer Bluehole, who has made
Terra,
exactly, who's made Terra, which a lot of people have known and play. So this is a new game for us to follow, which I'm really excited about.
They're making it on the Unreal Engine, which is a good sign. Like, it's perfect for this type of a game. And it should look really nice. So this will be interesting to see how this affects games like H1Z1 King of the Kill. They brought him in and said, hey, this is Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, and maybe him wanting to retain the rights to be able to do this thing was like, well, I'll license that you can do this type of a game mode, but it's not going to be Player Unknown's King of the Kill, because he wants to have Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Yes.
May have been a little bit of inside stuff happening there. So
a little inside baseball for you. But this is good. This is a new game to follow. He is not. I don't think he develops the game. He doesn't. I don't know if he actually develops.
Well, making the mods, there's quite a bit of that work going into it. Like, he has to make.
So did he actually make the H1Z1 mod, or did he have the idea?
No, I think they licensed it.
Okay.
I think they licensed it. So he made the Arma ones.
Yes, he did make the Arma ones, but
and then they just licensed the right to use that. So he made the Arma ones, which took a decent number, like a lot of the work that could get you to this game. Like, that's a lot of the work already.
Yes. So it's Battlegrounds Games, battlegroundsgame.com, and we, of course, this is a new game for us to be following. We've got a person with a track record here of 2 very successful mods in the past. So we will, we'll follow this, and this is something new. This is a Hunger Game. In my opinion, this is a Hunger Games the video game, because that's
and he's actually
what it's
moved.
not.
Nisco is saying he moved to Korea to develop this game.
So then he's going to have. It's not like, hey, player, no, we want to build your game. He is now building the game with the development team in Korea. So that's very good. Very good news.
Yeah, this will be fun. It'll be fun to track, and if they do a really good job, like making a game like this that's beautiful and seamless, like that's what it's going to take it to the next level. If you can make something that looks good, like Call of Duty and these types of games, it'll be interesting to see. He's got the people that know his name, as you said.
Yes, and he's on an engine, a good engine, and he's with a development team who is, developed games in the past. But I guess you can make the same argument about H1Z1, because EverQuest and PlanetSide and all those games were great successes. And actually, real quick note, PlanetSide 1 service actually shut down this week. And there's a cool video to watch of like all the asteroids coming in and killing everybody, and then I just couldn't imagine, Brian, and spending 13 years, investing
playing a game,
and then it's just, what do you do? It's gone.
At least they made. I mean, I guess it's time to move on to EverQuest.
Well, yeah, but these people are PlanetSide people. So now here's the thing. They're too late to the game for PlanetSide 2. They can't just hop into PlanetSide 2 and be like, hey, what's going on, guys? PlanetSide 2 here.
Well, a lot of this is community. Like, it's no longer the game about the game anymore. These people are there for the community that's been built. At least they made an event of it, and they're just not like, okay, well, the server's shutting off at this date. They gave the people a reason to hold on and to stay there. So it'll be fun to see. Is there going to be a game that a lot of these people gravitate to, or is this going to spin off to other communities? Or
is somebody going to start?
It's not like you've been talking to somebody for 13 years and now it's like, and I guess I'm never going to talk to you again. I mean, maybe that's.
Is somebody going to start the PlanetSide 1 project like we've seen with like EQ99 and?
It would be smart if they opened it up, or they should have at least released the code to let people run their own.
They won't. It's all proprietary stuff. They never would. I mean.
But I'm saying that would have been the nice thing to do, or give enough people information to be able to reverse engineer and create their own.
Yeah, I guarantee you there will be some type of. They did it with EverQuest, EQ99 project. You can go look it up. Somebody's probably going to do it with PlanetSide 1 too. So that's that's that stuff. Good stuff there. Some Fallout 4 news, which is
so they had a new update. Yeah, they had a new update come out, and so this is the Fallout 4 1.6 update. So this one came out to PC and the Xbox, and then they're working on the timing of the PS4 version. So if you have the Fallout 4 on the PS4, it's not quite out yet, but they'll be having out soon. So they said exit save. So a new feature is exiting to the main menu will create an exit save. So during your next play session, the exit save will delete itself after you load it. The exit save works in all difficulty levels, including survival. So,
which is, I'm surprised they never had in there before. And that's like a with a game where you can save at any point, an exit save makes the most sense. Because whenever you leave Fallout, it's like, make sure progress is saved. And you're like, I clicked the save button, so hopefully it's there. Hopefully it's saved. So now it's almost like a crash dump that's going to erase itself. Which is pretty
and they've also added new add-on specific icons in workshop mode. So when you're in workshop mode, you have add-on specific icons. So we'll able to see what those are. More than 300 new player names added to Codsworth's vocabulary. So this is when he's generating, hey, is your name Gary, Christofferson? No? Okay. And then he'll generate a new random name. So they've added 300 new variations.
Yes, and that's a lot, because that's the getting the voice right for all of them and adding that mechanic to the game. So it's not like they've got to program those 300 names into the thing and make sure it actually sounds.
You got to have them say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they put in support for upcoming add-ons. So some of the new ones that they're going to be adding, they're putting it into there, so they'll be able to add the add-ons later.
Gotcha.
And then they just had a number of fixes. So the rest was all minor fixes, which they're constantly doing. I mean, we've had for Fallout 3, I've seen patches that happened a year later, 2 years later. They're fixing, because there's so much content in this game that it's like people are probably, I ran across this little weird thing, or this text isn't quite right here. So they always have a little bit of things to put in there. And they're doing stability improvements as well. So that is the Fallout 1.6 update.
Yep.
Another one I put in here as a note for me to kind of keep track of. This was actually one that I purchased, and it's the Solace project. I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
It came out June 7th.
Did you purchase this during the summer sale?
A Humble Bundle. Yeah, so actually this is the second game. I didn't get it because of the summer sale. I actually had Gravity Beard say you really should get this game. You'd really like it. And so I was like, all right. So it is a survival adventure, exploration, survival horror.
Oh, okay. It is all the buzzwords.
Yes. So this is a spiritual successor to The Ball, which was 2010's PC Gamer Action Adventure Game of the Year. And so, yeah, it's just, I've heard good things about it. He said that it's really, really well done. And so I'll be playing this a little bit. It's not on sale anymore. It's $20 now. I don't remember if I got it for like 15 for both games. Like it came in a bundle that I don't think is available anymore. No, it says I already own it, so I can't do the bundle. So I'm not sure what the pricing is on it now. But yeah, it's supposed to be a really nice environment.
The bundle is $23.98.
$23.99. So I think I got it for like 50% off.
Oh, that's a good deal. Okay.
So yeah, so this is this is a game that I'll be talking about. I just figured I would mention it now so people can kind of see if they want to look into it themselves. But it's called the Solace Project, and it's on Steam. So
cool.
It's SOLUS.
Yep, and there'll be, of course, be in the link in the show notes, infectionpodcast.com, and we'll keep you up to date with that. Now, we did have from what I'm hearing from Rust people, a pretty significant Rust update. And this is their dev blog number 117. And the big thing here is the XP system, which I guess was kind of lackluster in the game. So currently what they're doing is they're merging the pre-releases into the main and launching the new XP system on the 7th of July. So what's going to be going on with this is it's the item ownership. So in the pre-release, the item ownership is now being merged into the final build here. And what this is going to allow you to do is it's an update of the XP system. So like there's floating little XP orbs and a better leveling up system. Like
so like when you drink water, you create it.
Yes.
It's saying you actually own things. So you earn resources. You earn resources. You earn XP from using resources. Like when you drink water, you create it.
So like my kind of example is kind of like Minecraft. Now it's new. When you mine ores, like when you mine coal, you actually get those little XP balls that come out, just like this has. So when you use a repair, like if you use your furnace or repair something, like you get XP for using your one. I wonder if they get XP from using yours. Probably not. Sounds like now, and Killcam is saying that this is a game changer and it's fundamentally altering the game. I'm not a Rust expert, so I just bought Rust. I've installed it. I haven't played it. I don't know.
Yeah, you just got it for the summer sale, right?
I just got it on the summer sale, so I can't speak to that. But Killcam here plays Rust, and if he, in his opinion, this is a big change for the game. So,
and this gives you just the extra stuff like. People love carrots on a stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, in some of these games, they are so. I was actually listening to a podcast where they were talking about some of the old games. They were actually talking about EverQuest.
Oh boy, everybody's favorite.
Yeah, and they were talking about the experience of just like, oh, I'm almost to this level. Like, just that you're almost there to that next one. There's going to be another level after that, right? But you're just almost there, and that constant drive of getting to that next little level or that next little thing. Like if they can add this, because this is already a huge game, but just giving that, like what you similarly have in Ark. Ark has a progression system. This one doesn't have so much progression system like this. Ark has this to where you're like, oh, now I'm level 21. Oh, now I'm level 20. I can learn this recipe and this recipe. Like. That's a huge thing because people feel that motivation. Oh, I got to get to level 30 so then I can learn this saddle or I can make this. Like there's so much you can do to drive people to push themselves in these games with doing a system like this. So that's pretty cool. And if they do it right, like it'll just increase. I mean, there's already a huge number of people to play this game.
Yeah, and Killcam is saying that if you have a pickaxe, you've made a pickaxe and your friend uses the pickaxe, you get 20% of the XP he gains. So
Oh, wow.
Items you use. Yeah, exactly.
So if people use your items, you actually get XP from people.
Yeah, exactly. So if
your
you
items.
build,
So
if
it
you
encourages
build
you
the
to make things for people to
if
use.
you build the furnace, and everybody uses the furnace, you should get the XP for that stuff, which is neat.
That'll be cool to see.
That would be very cool to see.
Now, another thing they added was quick craft. So they just have in the crafting system, they have like a quick toolbar in a way.
Yep.
So if you make things quite a bit, you can click them and make things without having to go so much through a crafting menu. They did hit scan projectiles. So when you get shot with a bullet, it says when you shot a bullet, it came out of your gun. So this is before and traveled at a certain rate. Had gravity and drag applied to it and it slowed down. It says, as you would expect in real life, except in Rust, the bullets travel a lot slower than in real life to emphasize this effect. So they felt like, I'm not going to say what he says. It didn't feel good at short range, but it worked over long range. So it got worse with the fact that the bullet doesn't move until the frame after it has been fired. So
there's like a delay. It's like you pull the trigger and then it's like, and then the bullet kind of shoots out directly after that.
Yeah. So they're really working on that so that it feels like the bullet immediately travels the set number of meters, depending on the ammo, and then it carries on as normal. So the end result is close quarters gunplay is effectively hit scan, but long range retains the effect of gravity that we originally implemented. So they're trying to make it so there's not that delay in there.
Which makes sense because in close range, you're firing bullets, and if somebody's right next to you, it's not hitting them instantly because there's essentially a delay between when you're shooting and when the bullet is actually leaving the barrel. So there you go. And then like they were saying, in long range, it doesn't really matter because the person's far enough away where it's not close quarters gun battle. So that's good stuff coming from Rust. They're always working on cool stuff. And then the other thing I quickly noted in here was that build times. Exactly.
Yep. It says he's been trying to make it so the build times, he says he spent a day and a half trying to get the build times not to suck. So so he's saying that this is when they're releasing the product, because they would do something and it would just take them a long time to get it out. They've got it down to about 5 to 10 minutes to where they can compile it for Linux, Mac, Windows, 32-bit, and 64-bit. So it does it all at the same time, and then so they can get these releases out faster. So
you can spend a whole lot of time building when it's building something for live that is kind of crazy. So
so I mean they may say, oh, we got this thing done, and then if it's spending the next day, like or let's say.
Just to
they
be clear,
release something and there's a bug.
Yeah, just to be clear, this is not building inside the game. This is their building of the final release that's going to your client.
This is when they've made a change and they have to put out a build that's going to be then downloaded and played by people. Let's say that they put something out and they notice that there's a bug, like something's not right, like it's crashing things.
Yeah.
For them to make a small change, then they have to build it again. Like if it's a long process, you can't quickly patch a game. Like you have to sit there and wait for it to be done, and so all these people are downloading that patch that's failed,
and you won't, because if you look at the amount of time it takes to fix a small issue, you're like, we'll just wait till the next revision to update it anyway, because it's such a long
now they get it down to a 5 to 10 minute thing. They can say, oh, this didn't go quite right, all right, let's put the patch in really quick and let's roll it out, and hopefully people's Steams wouldn't have started downloading it yet.
Exactly.
So now they have a much better way of being able to roll this out. So and part of this is they're fighting with Unity. They use Unity as well. So this is something that Unity is going to have to fix on their side too, because
and Gary's not new. Gary Newman is not new to game development, so I'm sure they're pushing Rust. I'm sure they're pushing Unity to its limit with what they're doing.
Yeah, and so so with this is something I know he's still going to continue to work on this. He's kind of given up at the moment because of an issue with Unity. So he says when multiple instances are compiling, it keeps losing its license because it thinks that there's multiple versions of Unity running. And so it keeps killing his license. And so this totally is a Unity problem. Like Unity, this is a big enough client for Unity that you would figure they'd be like, oh, you need to be able to build in parallel.
If it was me, I'd recommend that they find a new engine because it's very easy to just switch engines mid-game.
Oh, yeah.
I would just move to some new type of event. Maybe they should contact Daybreak.
Just go to Unreal.
Go to Unreal. I mean, everything should just copy right over. It should take no more than
auto migrate.bat.
Go to file import and then just import the whole thing. I'm sure it'll work perfectly fine because you can just switch game engines like that, no issue. So that's what's going on with Rust, and we have an update on a game that we talked about from E3, which Brian, I don't get very excited by games very often. But this few. Beautiful. This game looks fantastic. And what is this update here?
All right. So this is the 27 days until they release early access. So a game preview.
We'll be buying
I don't
this.
know. Yeah, and so they're actually going to be announcing in about a week. So sometime next week they're going to be announcing the price of early access. So this is something that's just this game, the way it's made and the story that they're telling. Like, I love it when a game tells a really good story and pulls you in, and they totally did this. So many early access games, like, I mean, we don't need to give examples, but they're constantly leaving the story to last. Like this one, they're bringing the people in and hooking them with the story. It's going to be early access, and then they're going to build on the rest later. I think a story is so important. It shouldn't be the afterthought of one of these games. So anyway, so he went through. There is some information about the game. One of the developers or two of the developers kind of talk about some things that they're doing. So we'll have a link in our show notes to this, but I just wanted to announce that it is coming out in a week. They'll have the pricing on the 27 days from now. So this was on June 30th, so about the 27th.
Well, the game comes out on the 26th.
Okay, so that's
unlocks, yes.
Well, that's the early access.
So are they announcing the pricing before that or after that?
They're announcing the pricing next week.
Okay, so next week, and then 2 weeks after that, the game will actually come out. I got you. So the 26th for We Happy Few. So should be good.
Definitely check it out. And there's some information. It says narrative team. So I think they're going to be telling a little bit of story in this. So go check it out. We'll have a link to in our show notes. Definitely. So let's go and announce the next game giveaway because we're running close to the end amount of time. Let me actually reopen this. All right. So for this next one, this is actually going to be BioShock. So if you type shock in chat, all lowercase, this will put you into the role for BioShock. If you don't know what BioShock is, I mean, you've been under a rock, I think.
Yeah, I think I think if you're watching the show, you've probably heard of BioShock before.
BioShock is an excellent game. You may already have it. If you don't have it, it's just a game that has a really good story, beautiful graphics for when it was made, very positive ratings. It's just one of those classic games.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. So BioShock has a great story. BioShock 2, they have BioShock Infinite, which was excellent. I love that game. Really good series. So if you've not played any of the BioShocks, this would be an excellent intro to get you started into the whole story.
Yes. And with that, we will kick off current players. Starting off with H1Z1 combined. This is Just Survive and King of the Kill. Currently playing those 10,722 people. The 24-hour peak for that is 14,243. And the 7-day peak, 16,100. H1Z1 Just Survive. Currently playing that 2,567 people. The 24-hour peak for that, 3,466. And the 7-day peak, 4,087. Moving over to King of the Kill, currently playing that 8,155. The 24-hour peak 10,777, and the 7-day peak 12,013. Ark. This is Ark. This is just regular Ark Survival Evolved. Currently playing that 41,445. The 24-hour peak 62,394. And the 7-day peak, 69,870. Now, this is the big one, Brian. The big reveal. Miscreated. Currently playing that 937 people. The 24
about half the people that are playing H1Z1.
Yeah. The 24-hour peak was 1,174, and the 7-day peak 1,174, and the all-time peak 1,174. All 4 were hit today. And
yes.
That's
good sign.
That
People
is
getting in there and seeing what the game's all about.
Really great stuff. So hopefully that continues its uptick.
And they're continuing to run the sales. So you're going to continue seeing sales of this because it's such a good price. People seeing that other people are starting to play it, right? I've been saying this for a while.
Exactly.
I've been saying this since the days when they had 100 people playing it when we were doing these streams. And so, this is something that, just, I mean, if it takes off, like everything is there for this game to really take off and play.
It definitely is.
There's no reason that it shouldn't. And if they're going to be releasing some new announcement, like just keep on pushing out these things, taking it to the next level because this game is ready. Like now that they have servers that are actually able to hold this many people, because before the servers, when 10 people are on, 15 people are on, it would eat a huge amount of bandwidth. Yep. And so now they have the ability to put 50 people on a server and even more in the future. They're going to be upping that limit. To where you really will start running into people and having that interaction with people on servers. That'll be a lot of fun to play in clans and things like that.
Exactly. And then finishing it off here with current players, Rust, currently paying that 22,313, the 24-hour peak 37,849, and the 7-day peak just shy of 40,000 at 39,552. That is current players for this week. So really excited with Miscreated. I would expect the numbers to probably half next week and then stabilize. Hopefully,
but they can keep selling it. Like a lot of people have it. People just need to come back and try it out and start playing and check out the new city. And if they now, this would be a perfect time for them to kind of keep working on the building system because I don't know if they've done too much because there wasn't really a point in the building system. But this is where you could really start focusing on the clan of the game, the groups playing in the game, and get those people playing together because that'll get them coming back day to day.
Exactly. So there you go. Cool stuff.
All right. So let's go ahead and we want to do tip of the week.
Yeah.
All right. So tip of the week is where I go through and either give a specific game tip or sometimes it's a survival gaming tip in general. But this week we're doing Ark because we've been playing a lot of Ark. So I came up with something that was pretty useful. It's a newer thing that's in the game. So this is tip of the week. All right. So for this tip of the week, it's Ark. And so there's a new thing in Ark that we announced, and I hadn't had a chance to use it yet up until this last bout of playing that we've done. When you're going to solo tame, or maybe you and one other person are going to tame a smaller sized animal. So maybe, for example, the wolf. That's what we tested this on. It's really difficult because they do so much damage and they're fast. And so they have this new thing called the bola, which is pretty much a lasso that you can throw, and it will stop the animals long enough for you to try to knock them out. You need to be careful because when you're spinning this around and aiming it, it's easy to miss. So if you miss it, there is a cooldown for you to be able to throw another one. So it's not like you can instantly turn around, and most likely you'll die in the time that you're waiting for that to finish. So it's really nice for the saber tooths, the wolves, things that are like the smaller animals. It's not going to work on a huge dino, but there's the small to medium-sized dinos this will work on. And it gives you time so that they won't kill you immediately. You can lock into place. Let's say a medium level type of a wolf, 5 or 6 trank arrows will be enough. And make sure that when you do this, if you're using an arrow, you need to be careful how fast you shoot. You don't want to unload on the animal so fast that you kill them with the arrows. The nice thing about the crossbow is it takes about 4 seconds between shots, 3 to 4 seconds. So that's about enough time for it to not take away the health and for the trank to kick in. And then you'll be able to knock them out and to tame them fairly quickly. So if you want to find out exactly how many arrows and darts it takes to knock out whatever size dino that you're trying to figure out, there's a nice website you can go to called ark.gamepedia.com. In there, just type the name of the dino that you're wanting to tame, and it will show you all the information about that dinosaur. And then at the bottom, it'll have for like level 1, for level 20, for level 50, it'll have different segments that you can go through and kind of compare to your level dino, and says maybe, okay, it'll take about 12 narco arrows to be able to knock out this dino, or this many darts, or, you know, hit him with the club this many times. And then it'll say, all right, if you're wanting to tame it with all regular meat, here's how much meat it would take, here's how many narco berries, or here's how many narcotics. It has them all broken down so that you can make sure you have enough resources to be able to tame that dino and how long it's going to take. So it's a really nice website that you can use. Excellent way to be able to figure it out, especially as you get higher levels up, getting to more complicated dinos. Sometimes you get to the point where it's taking 12 hours to tame a dino. You might want to know that before you attempt to go knock it out, to make sure you have enough time to complete that tame. So excellent website, arc.gamepedia.com. It's also a place where we find the show notes, or, you know, the change notes for the show for this. If you're into arc.gamepedia.com. So that's my tip of the week.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. And one more thing, if you're going in for the roll for the raffle, just please type in there one more time, shock, all lowercase, just to make sure you're entered. It won't let you try to enter for it there, Nick?
No, I was just typing it so other people would.
Oh, okay. Because it doesn't enter you because you're your channel owner.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to make sure.
It.
If not, my name could be you, and then you'd have.
No, I'm not trying to enter. I was just wanted people, because the stream's all over the place. So there you go.
Very good. Yeah, the stream's been up and down. That's why I just want to make sure everyone who's entered has a chance. A lot of people probably already have this game because it is a very popular game. But if you don't have it, definitely a game to have in your library.
Definitely, for sure. So let's see. We no update on Game of the Week. We will have an update on Twitter and in the Steam group as an event a little bit later on this week. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, next week.
And is it going to be a Friday night one, or is it going to be a Saturday day?
It's going to be Friday. It's going to be Friday night.
Friday night.
I'm not. I mean, unless Langan's not going to be around, because I'm not going to be around Saturday or Friday night.
Okay, yeah, and he usually likes doing them. I know in the future we will have to do. I have had some requests to do another Saturday one for the people over in Europe.
Yeah, we did it. We only did it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I'm thinking maybe a GTA day coming up soon on a Saturday would be fun. We get a bunch of people on GTA in the afternoon and have a lot of fun with that. So,
yep,
that should be
all right. So let's go ahead and we'll roll for the last one here.
Yep.
Hands up in the air. We'll see. Rolling, and it's me. So I can't, because I type in the thing. Ferrari, your girlfriend. And
here we go. We have
there's a story.
A new convert to PC gaming. Joined the master race. Has this new Asus laptop similar to mine with the i7 and a GTX 960. So that is more than capable.
So she doesn't really have any PC games. So it's good that she won this, because
literally
she likes
has like
player games.
Gary's mod and like Left 4 Dead 2, and then this game where you fly around as a bird. That's the extent of the library. So there you go. But yeah, there you go. So
Ferrari has won. Congratulations. She now can have another computer game.
Welcome to the master
And I think
race.
She'll like this. She'll probably like the story.
She's big fan of BioShock. She's got it on the played it on the console,
so she can now play it on PC.
Exactly. Yeah. See it in higher than 720p.
They're saying it's rigged because I won the first one, and now your girlfriend wins the second one. It's like we must have a little a chart of Brian system.
Brian wrote the script that does the roll, so there's a few usernames that are more like double.
We own the site.
Oh jeez, yeah.
Look at that story.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff coming on there. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah. I do apologize for anybody watching live. This has been an absolute disaster. I've really not been paying attention to what's been going on because I've been so worried about trying to figure out what's going on.
Make sure
it
continues to work.
So, I do apologize for that this week. Unfortunately, I'm not sure next week because of my internet may be much better, but
if you did miss a lot of the show today, just make sure you check it out on YouTube, because YouTube will be a perfect version of this show. Well, as perfect as it can be with us.
It will be the audio and video will be perfect on YouTube and on RSS as well. So, Brian, where can people find you online?
You have to find me on Twitter at Boise Computer. It's BOISE if you don't know where Idaho is. And on the internet, if you want to go to my blog, biteoftech.com, that's with an I, biteoftech.com. Also, go check out our website, infectionpodcast.com. Come join us. If you're not in our, what's the name, Discord?
Yep.
Yeah, if you're not in Discord, you need to join it. It's an excellent place to hang out and talk to people. We've got a lot of people in there right now, over 50-something people. So join our Discord, join our Steam group that we have, and come and play at the game of the week. That's going to be coming up, and we'll let you know what it is.
Yes, definitely. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our Twitter account is at InfectionCast, and follow the Twitch channel as well. We are live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Infection's twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. Of course, it's on YouTube. It's in pretty much any RSS media catcher as well. And you can find me, of course, on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. The website, of course, infectionpodcast.com. I want to thank everybody for tuning in for episode number 77 of Infection. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week for a mobile edition of Infection, the Survival Podcast. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.